Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Please continue to pray for some kind of miracle to happen. One of the biggest things I want to pray for is that next semester I teach at two different community colleges, and next semester I have a really long commute. And unfortunately, I'm teaching at two different campuses that are about 50 miles apart from each other. And I really love both of those jobs. And I keep praying that something happens. I don't know what. Some miracle that some teleportation devices appear at both campuses for some bizarre reason, right? Kind of like that miracle staircase that we had. I'll let you Google this. Google Unsolved Mysteries Miracle Staircase. That was one of my favorite stories as a kid. I'm kind of praying for a 21st century version of that in some way, or maybe a train will open up between those two places, right? That would be kind of cool, right? Even if it's not a very high speed train, even if the train is just as fast as driving, I think that would still be a miracle because at least I won't have the stresses of driving. Right. We do have, if those two schools were here in Taiwan, we would definitely have a train connecting them. We are so far behind them in the US. Right. We even have a high speed rail here in Taiwan right now. I was visiting some family in Taiwan. We even have a high speed rail. I think it's supersonic speed. And we don't. If only we had that between those two schools, I wouldn't be panicking right now, right? Another miracle you can pray for. Yesterday or 2 nights ago, I was thinking about uh, a misconnection that I had many years ago. When I was 14 years old, I spent some time in a juvenile detention center, and while I was there, there was this girl who was really nice to me, and unfortunately, I never got her contact information, and I would have forgotten all about her. And 2 nights ago, I wrote an email to the county where I was locked up in, and to my surprise, they entertained the idea and told me who I could contact, who might have the records. And that got me really excited. I think it was nice that I wrote it just before New Year's because this is the kind of stuff that crosses people's minds when we go into a new year, right? And so they were really nice to me, and it inspired me to write a couple more emails. I had emailed many years ago. I lost a job because of my eating disorder, uh, and I really didn't think much of it again until the other night. What had happened was that I was in the middle of a meal, and all of a sudden our manager called a meeting, and I was very anxious to get back to my meal, and the meeting went on longer than I had thought, and I got very agitated, and I stormed out of the meeting. And I don't know if I would have gotten fired, but I had another job lined up anyway, and I was embarrassed out of my mind. And so I very hastily left the job, emailed them, and said I had some family emergencies and I'm going to be quitting the job. And I never went back. And I don't know if anybody knew. That's why I left the job. I lost the entire network as a result. I didn't use them for references or anything after that. I had a very good record before that incident, actually. And so yesterday I emailed them back to formally apologize and to tell them how far I've come with my eating disorder. I can't believe I waited 6 years to apologize over an incident like that. I can't believe it. Granted, it wasn't a very good job that I had anyway, but I waited 6 years to contact them after the incident. And then finally, I emailed yet another misconnection. I was at well, I still go there from time to time, but I haven't been going for a while because this girl that I have been thinking about making a move on, and it would have been fine if she had straight up told me that, you know, she had an issue with it, but she's been, the last couple of times I went there, she was very passive aggressive about being hostile to me. She would rebut my any suggestions I had for games and all that. And so yesterday, it helped again. It helps that it was New Year's Day. I asked her. I told her that I needed to clear my conscience for the new year, and if there was anything that she could privately tell me, I'd be open to that. And I explained that I am autistic, and I explained that I have food allergies and eating disorders, and if those two things got in the way, I would understand that. Sometimes the food allergies come into play because sometimes I walk out of games when somebody opens something that's offensive. Eating disorders also come in the way sometimes because I'll be in the middle of a game and I'll have a craving, and either I walk out or I can't wait to satisfy that craving. You got to understand, a food craving to somebody who has an eating disorder like me is the equivalent of having like a cigarette craving where you can't satisfy it, right? You're on an airplane 14 hours and you got a craving for a cigarette. I don't know if any of my viewers smoke or former smokers, but I dated an ex-smoker one time, and she explained to me that of those cravings, and that's not very far from how I feel. So you can imagine that it got in the way, but anyway, I need some kind of. I don't care about the girl at the board game. It'd be nice to meet the girl that I knew when I was 14 years old, just to conclude that dark chapter in my life. But pray for. I'm gonna think hard about things that I can bring closure to this new. I really loved how the Westmoreland County even answered my email. Just the fact that they answered it gave me a really nice feeling, and it inspired me to try to resolve a couple of things, and hopefully the others will turn out as good too. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.